It's Scary Jones back with another episode of CEO Unplugged. I'm really excited for this one because it involves a little bit of risk, maybe a little bit of reward, some gambling action, and fun things like that. And it's Pete Sullivan from Jackpocket, the CEO, right?
Yep.
Dude.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate being on the show.
Fellow Brooklyn boy over here, as am I.
Born in Greenpoint.
Yeah, and I was born in Bensonhurst.
Yeah.
So
Close enough.
Yeah. So things can come out. Good things can come out of Brooklyn.
For sure. Great things come out of Brooklyn. People don't know. Brooklyn would be the fourth largest city in the United States if it was independent.
You know,
it's a big place, and a lot of smart people are there, and a lot of good ideas are coming out of there. So it's fun that entrepreneurship is now kind of sparking up again.
Yeah.
We just moved our offices from Williamsburg over to Bryant Park. We miss Williamsburg, but we were afraid the L train was going to shut down. But
right.
It's still here. So.
But you're in Midtown Manhattan.
Yep, we're in Midtown.
Explain to people what Jackpocket is, just in case they're unfamiliar, and how you guys got your start.
Yeah, exactly. So Jackpocket is the first official app that you can play official state lotteries on. So think about playing the Powerball, Mega Million, Lucky for Life, Pick 3, Pick 4. And it's funny, I started the business about 6 years ago, and we always joke that we're halfway to becoming an overnight success. Because we knew if we were going to be modernizing the lottery industry and somewhat disrupting it, we knew that it was going to be a long road, a lot of regulatory hurdles, a lot of compliance matters that we had to take care of. But the idea actually had always been around me. So as I mentioned, born in Brooklyn, my parents moved us out of the city up to northern New Jersey, and to make a better life for us, my dad never had the ability to play organized sports growing up. So when I was a kid, he was the head coach for my baseball team, my football team, my basketball team, and I hated the lottery. And I didn't hate it because he abused it, but he did play every day.
He played his numbers?
He plays his numbers. He's a numbers guy.
So let me pick this. Let me just imagine this for a second.
Yep.
He would walk into go to a newsstand or a pharmacy or something. He'd have his numbers either on auto pick or the ones that he had. He'd fill out the little things with the pencil.
Exactly. So sometimes he's filling out with the pencil, but a lot of times it was numbers that came to him. So on the drive in, going over the GW, he'd look at a license plate and pick out numbers. He'd ask me for my, nowadays he asks for my flight numbers. I think he cares where I'm flying to, or that my flight.
Oh, it's not like he's tracking your flight or anything.
He just wants to play the numbers. So the funny thing was, he would play his New York numbers, drive back to New Jersey, and before our practice, he'd have to go and get his numbers in.
Because you couldn't go across state. You have to go across state lines to play that state's lottery.
So you have to be within the state, and we'll get to that. That's what we make sure using some technology within the application. So there I would be, the son of the coach or the assistant coach, and everyone's waiting for the game to start because my dad has to get his numbers in. So it was super embarrassing, and we always used to bust on my dad about the numbers because he's the guy that's always like, I was one number off, and I should have played Pete's birthday last week, and it came out this week. So it's always been surrounding me, and the inside joke in my family was on the first date, my dad promised my mom he'd win the lottery for her one day. So now here I am. I never would have thought that we'd be in the lottery space. I'm a UI UX designer, so I've learned to design apps and websites, and we saw this opportunity in the lottery space. And people don't know how big the lottery is. So
sure. Well, how does Jackpocket make it easier for people to access and play the lottery?
Yeah. So Jackpocket's available in the App Store. It's an iPhone app, Android app. You can also play on the mobile web, and you can play from anywhere. So as long as you're within that state, you can be playing in your bathtub. You can be playing, on the bus, on the subway if you got service. And essentially, what we do is we verify your age. We verify that you're within the state, and we have a whole bunch of things to protect against problem gambling. So we detect if someone's playing too much, trying to deposit too much, if they have insufficient funds.
That's really important. You don't want somebody to get in over their head.
Totally. So we, as a company, we don't let anyone play more than $100 a day. And we also let players set their own daily, weekly, and monthly limits. And we're the first app to ever get approved by the National Council for Problem Gambling. So that was a long process, and we're now certified. And we're proud because most state lotteries haven't even gone through that.
Yeah.
So what's great about the product is right from your home, you can pick the numbers that you want to play. You can do a quick pick, and then you submit the order, and then all of a sudden you get a push notification, and inside the app you get to see a high resolution image of both the front and back of the ticket.
Oh, nice.
Now,
so it's a virtual ticket.
Well, actually, what's actually happening is we're actually printing a real paper ticket.
And you're just getting they photograph it and send it to you.
So we use high speed and high resolution printers. A venture fund that just led our last round, we've raised $25 million worth of
congratulations
capital. the fund, the LP in the fund is Panasonic, and we use these Panasonic scanners that are high industrial. And so we're able to scan hundreds of tickets per minute and process them. And what we're doing is scanning the front and the back, and then the user's actually seeing that high resolution image inside the app, so they know the actual ticket was bought for them. Because even with the digital ticket, people are like, is this real? What happened? So now they have the physical evidence, and then what people think of the convenience just ends there. But users don't have to check their tickets. We automatically let them know if they've won. The winnings under $600 are automatically in their account.
Oh my goodness!
We'll do the tax reporting,
and then they could transfer right to the bank.
Oh, transfer right to the bank. Replay.
Almost like a Venmo, PayPal situation.
Exactly right. We've actually now been approved with PayPal, so we're
okay. I love that.
And what's cool is now
it sounds easy. It sounds the convenience of it is
well. It becomes so easy. We have an autoplay feature, so you can pick your favorite numbers, or say every day I want a different quick pick. It'll automatically purchase for you. And then on top of that, you can actually set it to say, hey, listen, I only play the Mega Millions or Powerball when it's over 200 million.
So you could set thresholds and say, and put it on auto.
Exactly.
So it's like a set it and forget it.
That's exactly the phrase I use all the time.
I love that, because there are times where I meant to play the lottery, but I forget.
Yeah, totally. And so that was the number one problem we were solving for.
All from your phone. You just do it with your thumbs.
That's it. Real quick and easy. And the coolest thing that I think we have coming out. So right now we have a thing called public pooling. So people from different states, even though they're playing within the state, they're playing together in an anonymous pool. So we've had pools grow up to 5,000 people, and they're playing together in the hope of splitting, the jackpot.
Sure.
And that's been pretty cool. But what we're launching this month is private pool. So everyone here at the Z Morning,
the morning show, yep,
could create a private group that other people can't get into.
Oh.
And then you each buy tickets. And now let's say you buy $10, someone else puts in $10, and all of a sudden Elvis puts in $100. And you're like, man, so now
he gets a higher percentage because he put more money in.
Exactly.
I love that.
So now you come and you're like, I'm not going to let him get away with that, so you're going to drop another 90. So it makes it kind of competitive.
I gotcha.
And all the winnings are split automatically. So
I love the ease of use. Have you had any big winners?
We've had.
I mean, because that's going to be the ultimate question for people watching CEO Unplugged right now.
Totally. So we launched last June in Minnesota, and within 3 weeks, we had $1 million Powerball winner.
Oh my God!
What was really cool was he was a 20-year-old. So we always.
And by the way, the Powerball, the national Powerball.
National Powerball.
Okay.
So he won the second prize. He didn't match the actual Powerball, but he matched all other 5 numbers. And
I'll take it.
He got $1 million. He got cashed out. He won on a Wednesday, and he had the money in his bank account by that Tuesday. That's how quick we were able to work with the lottery on that process, which was awesome. And
so you guys do all the legwork on big prizes.
Totally. We work with the lotteries on that, and we work in conjunction with them, and we'll help with all the paperwork. And actually, for winners that win over $600, right? Let's say you win $1,000, you're going to have a tax liability. Mm-hmm. What we do is, because we know all the losses that you've had along the year, we're able to actually create a tax report and write that off for you.
Oh, wow.
It's really cool. So that $300 that you may get taxed on a $1,000 win, you can say, listen, I paid $300 worth of lottery tickets within the last year. Don't tax me on that, which is great for the consumer.
That's awesome. Tell me a little bit about the company itself. What's the culture like, the workplace, and how many people do you employ? And, I mean, I know you guys have one office, correct? Or do you have several?
So we have one office headquartered here in New York, where all our developers, marketing team, customer service.
Are you hiring? Are you expanding?
We are hiring like crazy. So if you go to jackpocket.com/careers, you'll see probably, I don't know, maybe 10 different positions that are open right now.
Wow.
And then in every jurisdiction that we operate, we also have an local office there. And so we currently employ around 55 people. Mm-hmm. We're looking to obviously grow that. We're now relaunching in New York, and we're going to be launching for the first time in New Jersey. So we're hiring for those jurisdictions as well. But the culture at the company is we don't look at ourselves as a gambling company or a lottery company. In fact, we're a technology company. So if you come into our office, it's super relaxed, open floor seating. We have a little area with guitars and TVs and PlayStations.
Yeah. It's like a Google Hangout.
It's a Google Hangout. Well, you need that. You need that.
Yeah, no, of course.
You want to attract the best talent. And
so, they need their space to be able to create and, totally get that.
Collaborate, have fun.
Yeah.
I think everyone really takes responsibility in their work because, we're not micromanaging and people
That's
get
important.
to own their work, which they take pride in it. So it's great.
Do you guys have beds and showers?
We have it. And actually the shower has been a #1 request. So maybe on our next office, because people want to go to the gym or they got to go on a date at night. I don't know. But that's the #1 request. So maybe next time we'll do it.
Is that what you think is one of the necessary ingredients to making a successful company? Is this culture that you've created?
Culture is key. I mean, without culture, right? Let's forget about a startup for a second. Just coming to work every day, right? We were talking before we got started here, and you said, you guys have a lot of fun here every day.
We do.
For me, like, laughter is a huge part of it, and having a culture where people can be open and ideas can flourish is so key. And, the other big thing that we have in one of our core values of the company is about persistence, because it's really easy to start something, but to follow through and execute, that's where it really becomes hard. And, ideas are a dime a dozen. They're super cheap. But the execution, and specifically within our company, I mean, we've had to battle through a lot of regulatory hurdles. We've literally gotten the regulations changed here in New York and New Jersey to support our business model to become the first states in the nation to do so. So we're really excited.
So if there's an entrepreneur that might be watching this right now, what advice do you have for them to start and launch their own successful startup?
Yeah. So I would say you got to jump in with both feet, right? You got to jump 100% in and do it. You can't just be, putting your toes in the water.
Can't spend part of the time on it.
Exactly. And not only that, you have to love what you're doing, because this is something you're going to be spending. People think, they hear these stories and they think like this startup launches and it's sold. A lot of times they had a bunch of failed startups before that or failed products. So you got to be involved in this for at least 5 to 10 years to really see a financial outcome. And, you got to be focused on getting the right people. The right people around you is the core of the company. So, whenever we have an achievement, the first thing I want to do is congratulate the team, because without them, the company's nothing. And so this is a people industry, building companies. It's only as good as the people around you. So really focus on the people. And I always, there's one practical part of advice that I always tell startups that people never hear about entrepreneurs. When hiring people, do a thing called vesting agreements. Do you know what a vesting agreement is?
No, I don't.
So let's say you want to get an awesome engineer and you're going to give them a % of the company in shares. What happens is, when you give that out, they vest that over 4 years. So you're giving them a part of the company, but they earn it through 4 years.
And there's incentive for them to stay. Right, yeah.
And the same thing happens with me as a CEO. So when we get investors don't want to invest in me and the company, and then all of a sudden the next day I'm leaving. So I'm earning my shares. And I find so many co-founders start a company, and then one co-founder leaves, and then an investor really loves the idea, wants to invest money, and they go, who's this guy in the capitalization table? John. Oh, yeah, John left 2 years ago. Well, why does he still own 50% of the company? So it's a really practical matter that I tell all these entrepreneurs that they got to look at, and nobody talks about it. It's really crazy.
Well, you just did.
Yeah, first time.
By the way, you seem like a really great guy to work for. You really do.
I appreciate that.
Seem easygoing and fun. This is the boss everybody should have.
Appreciate that.
So now, what's the rest of your outlook look like for 2019, and beyond?
Yeah. So this is
for Jackpocket
for us. So prior to this year, we had run a pilot program in New York where Elvis was actually a big player on the app, which we were really excited about when we first came out. And after a year running a pilot program, we worked with the regulators, who they finally saw that, okay, there was an opportunity here to work with a cool app. So we changed the regulations, and that just happened last month in March. And so this year, we're all about launching new big states. So last year, we launched Minnesota and New Hampshire. On this January, we launched Texas, which is doing phenomenal. And now we're launching New York, New Jersey, Ohio this month, Washington, D.C.
Wow.
And then there's a few states that I can't mention yet, but are on the way. So we're super excited. I think
pretty soon you'll be nationwide.
Yeah, I think by the end of this year we'll be at least 10 states, and then next year hopefully another 10. So
that's awesome. Baby steps. This is a company that's in growth mode.
Controlled growth mode, we like to say. That's the term we use.
Where do we find you online if people are watching this? Maybe they want to, hit you guys up for jobs, see what's available. Maybe they qualify, or maybe they just want to download the app. Like where?
Yep.
Give us your socials and your websites.
So we're jackpocket.com. Obviously, that's a little play on being able to win money in your pocket from your phone. And we're also obviously on Twitter at Jackpocket, Facebook handle Jackpocket, and Instagram Jackpocket. Also, like I said, check out their careers page. It really kind of shows you our core values, some of the really cool perks that we offer, as well as a day in the life. We have a video that we're posting up there that'll showcase kind of how the office feel is, and the diversity of people that we have, which is really cool.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for your time today. This has been really enlightening to me and as well as the people watching, I'm sure.
Appreciate it. Thanks so
Very
much for
cool.
having me.
Pete Sullivan, CEO of Jackpocket. More info at jackpocket.com.